The top stories for the hour. A researcher urged nations to press on with diplomatic approach to neighboring countries for a sea outlet. And Ethiopia embarks on a path towards sustainable peace and economic resilience. Welcome to EBC World, the voice of Pan-Africanism. I am Magdalena Isayum with the daily updates. And now moving on. President Haile Selassie today extended his best Christmas 2024 wishes to all celebrants around the world. An message published on a social media platform X, the Ethiopian head of state noted, "Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. May this holiday season bring you peace, happiness and more blessing." Meanwhile, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has also expressed best wishes to everyone around the world celebrating the Christmas holiday, including friends of Ethiopia and their diaspora community. Strategically located at the cross-border of Africa, the Middle East and Asia, Ethiopia presents a significant opportunity of the development of civil aviation industry, which can strengthen its strategic cooperation with China, according to Ambassador Tefera Derebo of Ethiopia to China. In a recent interview with the Henan Broadcasting System, Ambassador Derebo emphasized the even growing partnership between Ethiopia and China, particularly in the economic field. The strategic location of Ethiopia in China's Henan province, a major transportation hub connecting all corners of the Asian country, is ideal with a potential to reach nearly 4 billion people worldwide, Ambassador Tefera highlighted. It is worth noting that with an aviation of Ethiopian embassy in Beijing, China's Henan Aviation Group has recently participated in a celebration of the 80th anniversary of the International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO, which has held in Addis Ababa from December 9 to 12, 2024.
On Peril's Madwell, and this is Peril. I will be showing you the
لواء أساس. دتشي وممدرو
An independent Pan-African researcher says Ethiopia should press on with diplomatic approach with neighboring countries so that its quest for a sea outlet sees the light of the day. During an interview with ABC World, Mahalet Ayyere also underscored that Ethiopia's quest for sea access helps to foster regional integration and drive economic growth in the Horn of Africa. Ayyere further pointed out that the Ethio-Somalian agreement linked in the Ankara will go quite a long way to facilitate Ethiopia to secure access to sea outlet. The following story by Shagao Yamata flashes out the detail.
Due to historical and geopolitical dynamics, Ethiopia finds itself as a landlocked country in the Horn of Africa. As a result, the country is pursuing to secure access to sea outlets to meet the demands of its growing population and economy in the region. The country also seeks to contribute its role in securing peace in the Red Sea, as the region is dominated by non-African actors coming from remote areas. Talking to EBC English, independent Pan-African researcher Mahalet Ayyere Beyecha says that the necessity of securing access to sea is a matter of survival as it expands trade routes for its growing economy and also meets the demands of its growing population for landlocked Ethiopia.
It's a survival matter for Ethiopia to have a sustainable access to the sea. That is how important it is as we speak, given the various factors of it. Ethiopia's access to the sea, it's important given to its for economic growth, for prosperity, from security matter. If you look at it also from the geopolitics point of view, given the fact that how fragile is the Horn of Africa. So from various aspects, for Ethiopia to acquire access to the sea is important.
Access to sea is also vital for the Eastern African nation to play an indispensable role to safeguard peace and security with naval base. The Pan-African researcher states that Ethiopia has the capacity to play its role to ensure peace in the Red Sea, besides boosting economic cooperation in the region.
Right now, we have non-African actors in the region on the Red Sea, which are not African. So Ethiopia has the capacity, the potential to have that maritime presence, security-wise, on that sea that others do not have. I mean, if we really now compete in the region, there is no capacity-wise and potential-wise, Ethiopia is on the top. I mean, nobody denies it, whether they like it. We have access to the sea or not. Nobody denies Ethiopia's, Ethiopia is economically powerful country, and having that access to the sea will boost, whether it's economically, maritime, security.
Mahalet further praised the diplomatic moves the country following with neighboring countries to get sustainable and reliable access to sea outlet. She expressed her optimism that the nation will acquire access to sea as the country's pursuit of access to sea is legitimate and based on international law.
The Prime Minister, under his leadership and with all his administration, did not try to get there using anything else or a weapon or anything. He is trying to get it diplomatically with all, with all the administrations. You should be radical and strong to take that leapfrog for the country to get access to the sea. So it's important. I mean, it's also a legitimate within international framework.
With regard to the agreement signed between Ethiopia and Somalia in Ankara, she underscores that it will facilitate Ethiopia to secure access to sea outlet, and it will also undermine Ethiopia's long-standing adversary Egypt from manipulating Somalia as a destabilizing country in the region.
When it comes to also with agreement with Somalia that was made by the mediation, Turkey as a mediator, I think it. Again, that's Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, who is unpredictable, but in a very positive way that can benefit the country. So, by signing that agreement, achieving that diplomatic victory was checkmating Egypt in Somalia.
Ethiopia pays over $1.5 billion per year on port fees to Djibouti for its lack of direct sea access. That is why the country has sought to diversify seaport access, exploring options with neighboring countries.
Even though Ethiopia has faced numerous challenges, there is a silver lining and laying a strong foundation for building a sustainable peace for decades to come. This is according to Yopta Kalling, State Minister of Finance, who reiterated that successful implementation of mega projects across the country can be taken as a manifestation of the country's economic resilience. Tigister Nasa takes it from here.
The past couple of years, global economy has been challenged due to the COVID-19 pandemic, slowing of global growth. Energy transition has also lost momentum due to increasing global uncertainty and also Russia-Ukraine war. 2018 marked a new chapter in Ethiopian modern history, and what ensued after 2018 globally has affected the entire world economy, including Ethiopian economy. During his conversation with Prime Minister's Press Secretary Bilene Siyum, State Minister for Finance Dr. Yob Kalling reiterated that Ethiopia has grappled with a number of economic challenges the past 6 years.
Look, we've seen challenge after challenge, right? I mean, they came in twos, in threes, in fours, in five the last 5-6 years. Whether it's a 25-year worst drought, COVID-19 pandemic, locust invasion, domestic instability, and then the global slowdown because of, Russia-Ukraine war, and you gave a very good context about the global challenge. But how did we overcome these challenges is the question. I think one important thing is we've managed to build a resilient economy through the economic reform that we implemented, first, second iteration of economic reform. The leadership, the change leadership inherited an economy on the brink of complete collapse. Macroeconomic imbalances, high public debt, stubborn inflation, significant public wastage, a very weakened private sector, and disgruntled public because of that sense of unfairness, economic inequality, and so on.
EU went on saying that even though Ethiopia has faced numerous challenges, there is a silver lining in laying a strong foundation for building a sustainable peace for decades to come.
There is also a silver lining here. As I look at the challenge we went through and what we've managed to achieve in that political contestation, I feel we are laying a strong foundation for a sustainable peace for decades to come. In fact, let me use the analogy of there is this disease called the smallpox, right? Once you get it over with, for good. It no longer comes back. So I feel all these...
The sleeping giant has contracted smallpox.
Exactly, it's contracted smallpox. It's getting it over with, and we move forward on the path to prosperity.
The State Minister added that successful execution of mega projects across the country can be taken as an immense manifestation of the country's economic resilience.
Post-2018, I think under the leadership of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, Ethiopians have imagined something big. They've dared to dream. And that completely changed the culture of economic management, project execution, planning, and delivery. Look at how projects were devised and implemented. The mantra is not just start to finish, but start after completing. In your mind, you've seen it through. When you start something, you'll push through the execution to its logical end.
Becoming exporter of wheat to neighboring countries and paying higher emphasis to the industry and tourism sector, the country strives to prosper even more, so it was disclosed.
Ethiopia is intensifying efforts to combat climate change with a renewable focus on reforestation and land rehabilitation. To this end, the Ethiopia Forestry Development has announced the creation of a dedicated fund to support this initiative, including the Green Legacy Initiative. Director General Kabede Yimam highlighted the urgent need to restore 54 million hectares of degraded land, with 11 million hectares requiring immediate action. This effort follows the recent passage of the resolution by Ethiopia's House of People representative to back the country's climate change strategy. Tune into the rest of the story by Johannes Ventahon.
Ethiopia has reaffirmed its commitment to practical climate change mitigation with a renewed focus on reforestation and land rehabilitation, backed by a recently approved dedicated fund. The Ethiopian Forestry Development, in a press conference with local media, outlined the country's strategy for addressing climate change, emphasizing the significance of Green Legacy Initiative. Director General of the Ethiopian Forestry Development, Kabede Imam, highlighted the global impact of climate change and underscored Ethiopia's particular vulnerability. The country faces the challenge of 54 million hectares of degraded land, with 11 million hectares requiring immediate rehabilitation. In response, Ethiopia's House of People's Representatives has passed a resolution to establish a dedicated fund for land rehabilitation, and the Green Legacy Initiative formalized through Proclamation number 1361/2017.
The House of Parliament approved the Landscape Restoration and Green Legacy Fund. This fund will be used for restoring degraded landscapes across the country. This fund will be used for Green Legacy initiatives. As you know, the Green Legacy Initiative started in 2011 in Ethiopian calendar by His Excellency Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed. Since then, the Green Legacy initiatives continued strongly and effectively. So this fund will be used to strengthen this Green Legacy initiative for tree planting as well as for forest protection, and also this fund will be used for urban greening.
The Green Legacy Initiative, a large-scale national reforestation effort, has become a key component of Ethiopia's climate strategy, representing a practical response to the climate crisis, the Director General added.
Ethiopia has a very big pledge to the international community, like the NDC. Ethiopia committed to reduce the carbon dioxide emission by 68.8% by 2030. And again, Ethiopia committed to restore 22 million hectares of degraded landscape by 2030. This pledge was for Bonn Challenge, for New York Declaration on Forest, and for Africa 100. So having this very big commitment, Ethiopia expected to fulfill this commitment. Then this fund will use to restore the degraded landscape.
The initiative, which has a significant regional impact, also aims to improve the water access, quality of life, and the overall climate resilience of communities. The fund will also play a crucial role in supporting the implementation of the Forest Development and Protection Regulation enacted last year after 55 years with Proclamation 544/2016. This regulation addresses deforestation and promotes sustainable forest management, he added.
We know that the Ethiopian forest cover by now is 23.6%. For this achievement, there are different factors. As you know, Green Legacy is one of the biggest initiative in Ethiopia, which contribute for our forest cover. Different projects, watershed management, and the public at large, the public contribution at large, really help us to improve and to increase our forest cover.
Historically, Ethiopia experienced significant rate of deforestation, and now due to the conservation efforts, deforestation rates has been reduced by 27,000 hectares annually.
That's all we had for today's update, but before I go, let's have a recap of the top stories once again. A researcher urged nations to press on with diplomatic approach to neighboring countries for a sea outlet. And Ethiopia embarks on a path towards sustainable peace and economic resilience. Thank you for tuning in to ABC World, the voice of Pan-Africanism. It was me, Magdalena Suyum, with the daily updates. Goodbye.